Hello, Beatball world. Believe it or not, we're really back. This is not a rewind or a replay. Although, I guess I shouldn't say that because at some point it could be. So, Stardate 2671.3. If that matches up with today for you, then this is a live show. But we are back. We got the Philadelphia Fire here with us. 4 players from the team have joined us. We're going to jump in with them in a second. But first, I got to tell you, I am Neil, D-A-W-G, and I'm joined by the most powerful man in beatball history, Seth Bam Bam Clark. Welcome in, Seth Doggy.
Neil Dog, what's happening?
Not much. How are you? Make it through. We had, usually living in Northern California, the last thing we could ever complain about is weather or storms. But we got hit pretty hard. You almost weren't going to make it. You finally got some internet connection.
All right.
So
we're out here roughing it. We're in California, we know how to rough it and stuff like that. Live off the land, Neil Dog. You got to live off the land,
These heavy storms with our 50-degree weather. And it's chilly. I'm complaining that it's like 48 today. It's too cold.
Dude, it was like 28 earlier in the week.
Yeah, we did drop below. Not very often we get in freezing, but I went out and wrapped blankets around my lemon tree to try to protect it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sweetie.
Thank you. That's right. Exactly right. It's the only family I have. I just want to throw one thing I thought was kind of funny as I was preparing to, since the pandemic, I literally hardly ever put deodorant on. I'm not ever, if I'm going to be around people, I do, but I'm hardly ever around people. I shower, couple times a week. No, I shower pretty much daily still, but I never put deodorant on. But for some reason, because I'm Mr. Preparation, I just finished shaving my head, jumped out of the shower like 10 minutes before the show. But I threw deodorant on before I put my shirt on, and I always do when we record the show, even though I'm still here by myself. So, Doug, I always think I need to be fresh for our guest on camera. Maybe I'll start my.
Well, I gotta say, it's a good habit to get
get back to going forward.
Yeah, you will be returning to the real world at some point in time.
It shouldn't be my new normal.
So.
But I've never thought about it before. But I'm sitting there before the show, or I jump out of the shower, I'm throwing on some deodorant, and I start giggling at myself. I'm like, why? Like I'm trying to do a commercial. Even
you're a businessman, you're ready, you're doing your work, man. You're getting ready.
I'm auditioning for commercials. Even on Zoom, never let them see you sweat. Gotta be fresh. All right. Well, enough of our nonsense. We have another team that agreed to join us. We got 4 members from that team, the Philadelphia Fire, starting with, I meant to double check, make sure I had these names said correctly before we started recording. They're not really challenging, so I'm going to trust I get it right. But I'm going to start with Gina Natoli. Do I have it right, yes. Natoli?
Yes, right. That is right, Natoli.
I think that is a wonderful, northeastern, that's a good northeastern Italian name. Are you Italian?
It is a strong Italian name, yes. Yes, I am Italian.
Seth and I are huge fans of the TV show The Sopranos, and it's like that
classic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a name. It's like Meadow Soprano. It's like I'm going over to Gina Natoli's house. Like that sounds so natural right there.
Yes.
But all right, we're gonna get back to you in a minute and learn a little bit about your beatball career. We also have with us Andrew Greene, Lean Mean Andrew Greene. Welcome, Andrew.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. This is the son, confirmed, Seth Dog. This is the son of former NBBA president Dan Greene and one of my favorite homies, Patty Greene. That's Andrew Greene is their son. So I'm excited to get into your career a little bit here in a bit, Andrew. Thanks for coming in. Justin Ryines for the Philadelphia Fire has also joined us. Did I get your last name correct, Justin?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You know, you're welcome. But each time I read your name, I know I don't think we know each other, but your name seems really familiar to me. Have you been around?
Justin and Rhymes. I've never heard of those words before.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess it could be that simple or whatever, but I don't know. I was wondering, have you been around for a long time? We're gonna get into your career a little more deep in a second, but have you been around a while, or are you newer?
No, it's my third year.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to find out more about that in a minute. But we also have here the man that set this up for us, my new friend, Johnny Ma. Belated happy birthday to you, Johnny.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you guys having us on and giving us a chance to talk a little about our team. And I'm doing all right. It's 16 degrees here though, so don't complain too much.
Enough of my poor 50 degree. I'm gonna get up and go turn my heater off. I feel bad. Woo, that made me feel like shiver a little bit hearing that. I was talking. Go ahead.
It actually snowed over here in Tucson, like 2 or 3 days ago.
I was talking to Stephen Guerra earlier in the week. He's like, yeah, we're up to 13 degrees. Like, up to? Woo! I don't want to ever live where I say the words up to 13 degrees.
Nobody makes them live there, Neil Doug. Nobody makes them live there.
Yeah, true that. Although, Andrew just brought up Arizona, Seth, and it was you that shared with me that what they say in Arizona during the summer, that it gets so hot. Like overnight, since the overnight lows are like 85, it's like they have a warming down period. It's not an overnight low.
Well, we'll be warming down to 92 tonight.
That is ridiculous. I don't want to live in that either. I'm all right with Sacktown. It's kind of like right down the middle.
No, you'd be a lot better on the coast, but well, Sacramento's hot as hell. So
only
I don't
like
say it's not. It's not. There's brutal times.
No, that's
here.
True.
Brutal times.
We could have 30 to 60 days over 100 degrees, like between June and August. So.
But it's a dry heat. It's a dry heat. It's a dry heat.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, we've killed the show. We're talking weather, man. What the hell did I do? We're way too out of practice. I was all proud. We did like 35 shows last year. We're on pace to do like 20 now. Even skipping some of it. So.
Less is more. Quality over quantity.
Yeah, right. But we're out of practice. All right, Miss Natoli. Tell us how you got into beat baseball, how you ended up with the Philadelphia Fire.
Well, my story is I moved to Philadelphia in 2014. I joined the Pennsylvania Wolfpack originally in 2015.
Okay.
I got into the sport through a friend of mine, Scott Hogwood, and he introduced me to the sport of beat baseball. And I've been playing ever since.
Awesome. Scott
I really love it. It's a great sport.
Scott was on the show with us once before. We had a lot of fun with Scott Zilla.
Yes.
I think it might have been Andrew's brother that named him that, if I remember him telling that story. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. And in addition to the Fire, I actually had an occasion to meet you briefly on another like Zoom conference thing with some beatball people, and I heard you and Rebecca Lewis talking. Are you going to be getting involved with the Wool?
Yes, I am a Wool member. I'm a part of the Dynamic Divas. I've been playing with them, as well. So
I'm getting behind
part of the Divas.
I'm getting behind the Divas. The Bombshells have a huge advantage over the Divas because they're more centrally located. They get to work together more. So I'm for the underdog. I'm rooting
for the underdog.
Yeah, so I'm all for it. And I'm a big fan of Wool, so I'm glad you're getting involved with them.
Yeah, I love playing with the girls, as well as the Fire. I really enjoy it.
Awesome.
Through the fire. I'm sorry. I'm singing again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You should hear me at 5 in the morning doing dishes, boy. Talking about
what his kids have to live through. It's always it's been years since Seth and I have like shared the same roof, but it's always fun when Seth is in a house with people, because when he's in the shower, it's like he's putting on a concert, or sometimes just out of nowhere he'll just start laughing. You don't even know like, who's in there telling him jokes? You just hear him start laughing.
I am my favorite comedian. I am my favorite comedian. As long as I laugh, it's always funny. So
he's an interesting individual to be. I can't imagine going through a pandemic with Seth Dog. Mr. Andrew Greene. Your dad obviously has had a long, distinguished career, and your family's been around this game probably since before you remember. But I want to know about Andrew Greene, the player. I want to know about you, man. When did you finally get a chance to start playing? You've been a defensive all-star. You're carving out your own career. Tell us when you finally got going.
Yeah. So I think my very first time getting to actually play was like the last year that the Oklahoma City team was around. Like, what was that, like 05, I think?
Yes. Yep. 05. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Hibner, he put me in for like 1 inning. I got like one hit and I scored a run, and then he subbed me out. I was on top of the world. I was like, I did it. Oh my God. I was like, because up until that point, we had been going. That was our family vacation, nationals every single summer.
Oh yeah. So those like Seth and I that have been around forever, the Greene family was never not there when we were there. So
Oh yeah.
Been around.
Being on the sidelines, 4 years old, telling my dad like, "Hey, this is what you should do when you're on defense," But yeah, so like 2005 was my very first year, but then. We had been trying to get a team up and going out of Arizona for quite some time. And that finally came together a little bit before the 2008, like the 2008 World Series, but it wasn't like, we're like, oh yeah, cool, we're a team. But we're not going to go as ourselves. We're going to go, we got Johnny Walker from the Colorado team back then to come down, and he picked out a couple of us, and we went and played with them that year. So that was like officially my first year playing like multiple games. And then the following year we started up the Southwest Slammers and went to, what was that, like Stockton, I think, in 09?
Yeah, 09, the last year I played.
Yeah, so then we played we were the Slammers up until like 2016, 2017. And then, things kind of happened, and the team kind of slowly but surely fell apart. But we had Johnny Ma play with us. What was it, 2016, right?
Yep, 2016. Yep.
So I made that connection with him. So then when he told me, I told him, yeah, the Slammers, we're done. And he told me, hey, he's like, hey, we're gonna start with we got the Philly Fire going up and going. You want to come play with us? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I've been with them ever since. So.
Yeah, I love it. I love I love that you're carrying the torch and carving out your own thing. Defensively, obviously your dad, I'm sure, was an influence, but you've become a good defensive player. Like, do you? Outside of your dad, do you have any like particular coaches or influences, like player wise, that you tried to follow?
Honestly, I don't. There's a list of people I that I grew up watching, from all the teams that my dad played with,
Right.
But I mean, yeah, he was definitely a very strong influence on me defensively.
Yeah.
Although
do you wear a glove?
Yeah, your dad wear the glove.
Yeah,
you play with the glove. Huh? Good call, Seth.
He no glove. He actually, that was like a big thing between me and him, because I was like, how can you play with? I actually never understood how he could play with the glove. But then I saw him the way that he works with it and the way that he moves around with it and fields the ball with it. And I was like, I tried it, and I was like, no, I can't do it. I'm like, I've had people describe my defensive style as like I'm a wild animal because I crawl around on all fours. So they're like, yeah, you need your hands, you need your little claws. You can't do that with a glove.
So, Seth and I had the same arguments with Danny Fapiano, who's always
glove,
and when we had him on the show, I was like, man, imagine the career you would have had if you didn't waste time with that stupid glove.
Yeah, we had to shave that wild animal at the last World Series.
Oh God.
Who, Andrew?
He had a full beard and a full head of hair. He hadn't got a haircut for a year, and we shaved him at the
That's funny because that's something you would hear about after during the pandemic, not beforehand.
Well, and because of who I think it was Dan Kelly who suggested we make it a tradition.
Yeah.
So I've actually been growing out my hair on my head and the beard and mustache.
Get ready for
since
the last
World. Since the last World Series, I haven't touched it since they shaved it.
A bunch of blind guys come near him with scissors, so he's very brave.
Wow, that's crazy. So you're full on like Grizzly Adams, like I don't even know. Like you just let it all grow out.
Yeah.
He's hoping that there's a World Series this year.
I'm hoping. I'm really hoping.
Oh, that's awesome.
I thought it was bad in 2019 when we went, and I was sweating so bad the entire week. I was like, oh my God, my head weighs like 30 pounds. What's happening? And it's so much worse now because I've let it grow for another year.
That's awesome. Well, good, man. Good for you. Keep on trucking, dude. We'll get some more from you as we go on. Mr. Justin Ryines, man, tell us a little bit about you. You mentioned you've been around like 3 years. How do you find the game?
So I actually went to like a collegiate goalball tournament with my college, and one of the refs for goalball talked me into coming to goalball practice. And I ended up meeting John there, and every single practice, John would just ask me to play baseball because he just wanted to start a team. And I played baseball growing up and really wanted to do it. So that's kind of how I got involved.
I'm sorry. From the beginning of what you said, you got my attention. They actually have college goalball teams? Is that what?
Kind of. There's like 6 or 8 teams in the country, and it's pretty much any college that has like disability studies minor.
Right.
So like Towson has one, Slippery Rock. I went to Westchester University in Pennsylvania. So there's a couple colleges, and for a while they would get together and do like a collegiate goalball tournament. And you could be visually impaired or not visually impaired.
Oh, okay.
The whole idea was just to go out and play and meet different people. And it was
it's because it's offered through the university. UC Berkeley used to have one.
Yeah.
Not too long ago here. So, but it's like a class that anybody can sign up for.
Okay.
But obviously, it's a good way to get blind people involved in the sport, actually getting volunteers and support already just built into the program. Yeah. So
I mean, honestly,
I've never heard any outside of Berkeley. I've never heard of the tournaments or anything like that.
I mean, outside of that, I mean, it's just like I know that I get how much easier it would be to do that with goalball than beatball, but how cool would that be for beatball? Like to kind of spread knowledge or whatever. So sorry we got derailed on you, Justin, man. But I thought that was way cool. I had no idea that was going on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tell us a little bit about yourself as a player, man. What are your strengths and weaknesses? You offensive, defensive? Where you at as a player early on?
Definitely working on my defense. Being a new player, I feel like defense was a little hard. I'm not used to like being around so many people while blindfolded. So I have relatively good vision, so I get nervous.
Yeah.
So I like to have my own space. but I've gotten more comfortable with that. But I played baseball for a long time, so I was 13.
Right.
So I feel like I'm more of an offensive player. I can hit the ball pretty well and fast, so that's where my strengths are.
When since you mentioned you've got good sight, did you have any struggles with your swing once you put on the blindfold?
I actually did not. It was weird. From day one when I stepped on the beat baseball field, my swing and me finding the base blindfolded, I never had issues with.
Good.
I don't really know why. It came naturally.
You got a peeker over there, Johnny Ma?
He's
a peeker?
He's not a peeker. He wears mine.
I'm just teasing.
I'm not cheating.
I was teasing. What were you going to say, Seth Dog?
No, to me, it would only seem natural that when you do put the blindfold on, that your swing would stay the same. It's always weird to me when it totally changes and stuff like that. So
I don't think it's weird that, and there's some cases, a few players that only you would really probably remember, but Roger Brock and Brian Whitmore that played with us from North. Roger was one of our original dogs, but Brian was one of our North Carolina players, and with both their cases, I think that they were so locked into being so used to using their eyes to go for the ball that. Like I felt like it mentally, it was a problem mentally to not just trust the pitcher to come to them. They were always constantly trying. They're used to being a hitter, like depending on themselves, I guess is the way I looked at it. And sitting back and working with the pitcher, I think it was like a mental block is the way I looked at it. So I don't know, just my 2 cents. And that's what made me ask with Justin.
Yeah, I think it was an easier transition for me. My dad, like the third practice, wanted to come out and volunteer.
Right.
And now he's our catcher and our coach. So he's obviously seen me swing since I was 3 years old.
So you had somebody could give you tips you trusted.
Yeah. So if I ever did change my swing, he was on me right away. So
yeah, that's good.
That made it easier to make it a more consistent swing.
I'm guessing too, your experience in gold ball, like you had a comfort level with the blindfold, being blindfolded, you already had a comfort level.
Gold ball definitely helped.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, it's good to meet you. I appreciate you coming on with everybody.
Cool, thanks.
Johnny Ma, my first question to you is, M.A. really your last name? Or Johnny Ma, nickname? It's got to be a nickname, right?
Yeah, my real last name's Margist, and it's actually kind of funny how I ended up with that as my nickname. But I'm like half Italian, and but it's on my mother's side. Mother's maiden name's Napoli, so I actually was trying to, when I first was using voiceover, change my Facebook name to Johnny M, and then I left the A by mistake. and so people, after like a couple of days, I couldn't change it. Facebook wasn't letting me change it. I said I changed it too many times in one period or something. And everyone's like, you know what? It kind of suits you and fits you, so just roll with it. So that was like 10 years ago at this point. I just kind of left it since then. So
I don't know you well enough to say it suits you, but I've always thought it was a cool sounding name. So I like it, man. What's your story, dude?
So I started working at a nonprofit agency that employs visually impaired people back in 2010. And then I want to say in 2012, 2013, I don't remember exactly when, Scott Hogwood's actually the one who got me involved as well. He kept asking me to come out to goal ball and come out to this, and I had never heard any of this stuff. I have RP, and I actually played baseball as a kid and played high school football. That was pretty much the last thing I could do in high school was play football. It was starting to get tough.
You can't bring up football without telling Seth what Seth coaches youth football. He's a huge football person, so you can't bring up playing football without telling him what you play, position.
I was a linebacker before my vision started to go, and then I ended up becoming a DN. But my little brother actually got a full ride to University of Pitt and was on the Steelers for a little while. So football is kind of in my family a little bit.
Wow, what is his name?
Matt Galambos.
All right, cool. You remember him, Seth? No.
He was on the practice squad.
I'm a Cowboy fan. Come on now.
Yeah, he was on the practice squad, and he had a really good college career, but he made it for a year or two, which was really cool to watch.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, right.
Heck yeah.
But
you kidding me?
I'd never heard of goalball or anything like that, and Scott finally convinced me to come out, and I really liked goalball. And then he said, "Oh, I want you to check out this other sport called beat baseball." And then he told me the practices were Sunday morning at 9 a.m. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know about that."
You got the wrong Johnny Ma.
But eventually he kept kind of trying, and he did convince me to come out, and I'm really happy he did, because obviously I love it now. 2014 was the first year I played with the BSO PA Wolfpack, BSO PA Wolfpack, and we tried in 2014 and 2015 to kind of get to the series, but it didn't work out, and I didn't have a lot of like vacation time. I had a lot of stuff going on, so I didn't actually travel to the World Series with another team. And then in 2016, Scott, Mike Coughlin, who was also playing with the Wolfpack, told me that they were going to play with the Slammers and Andrew Greene. And they got me, they convinced me to go. My first World Series was 2016 in Iowa. And once I went there, man, I was hooked. Like, I knew I was coming back every year. I was really excited. Then, that was the Slammers last year, and we had met Johnny Walker. He came out and volunteered as a spotter, in the Chicago tournament. And, we ended up linking up with the Colorado Storm, in 2017 and playing. And that was a really fun year. I met a lot of great guys playing with them. Johnny Walker's, a great guy. He's the man. So I played with,
I love that guy.
Yeah, he's a really, really good dude. And that was a really fun team. I mean, we were 6-0 going into Friday. It was cool to be a part of a team like that, with a lot of experience and a lot of veterans, been a lot of guys that have been playing for a while. So, and then 2018, we were just talking, and we really, really decided we wanted to do everything we could to try to get our own team together. I think in January of 2018, we had me, Gina, and Mike Coughlin committed to go to the World Series. So
what? You guys couldn't win?
Yeah, you got half a team there, man.
Yeah, what are you complaining about?
And then the Natoli family. So Gina's dad was our head coach, and her brother Dom was the pitcher. Her other brother Will helped out. Her mom helped out. Her sister was our scorekeeper. So ultimately, we tried and tried and tried, and I bothered everyone just as much as I bothered Justin to come out and play in 2018. And we ended up putting together a pretty solid team and finishing in 10th place out of 22 teams our first year there. So, that was really cool when we did that and we made it, and just trying to build it and keep it going. Ever since then, I've lived in the Philadelphia area my whole life. I'm a big Philly, Flyers, Sixers, Eagles fan. So, just trying to find young blind guys and girls and kind of build it the right way, and just, bring a team from Philly every year. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, definitely build some home pride in our own sport. I could dig that. So tell us more. Then let's dive into the Philly Fire as a team. Tell us more about the team. Where you guys are at, where you're trying to get to. I know one thing I'd like you to I want to give some props to. I enjoy listening to your streams when you guys stream games. I like the cats that do the games for you.
Yeah. So the main guys that do that is Matt Wallace and Nick Gomberg. And Matt Wallace actually has a broadcast journalism degree, and he does some color analyst stuff for a women's hockey league. I think it's University of Delaware. So he loves it, man. We love having them come out every time to be able to broadcast for us. Right. I think they do a great job. Both guys are totally blind, and they still, they do. I give them a couple, kind of give them the lineup in the beginning, and for the most part, they're on the money, and I think they do a great job. We appreciate them coming out. to do it.
I enjoyed. That's why I wanted to bring it up. I enjoyed listening to the broadcast. So I wanted to give that props. Hope they keep doing your games for you.
Yep, definitely.
Hey, so you guys finished 10th in 2018. How did you do in 2019? Right. We had a certain tournament 2019.
Yeah,
that was Oklahoma.
2019, we almost got your heat, but it was a close game. You guys got us. So
I'm guessing I didn't know, but I'm guessing that's why he brought it up 2019. No,
no, I knew we played, but I didn't know if it was Wisconsin or Tulsa.
Okay.
I played 1,000 games. But I don't know when I played and when I did play.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so 2019, we got off to a pretty good start. We went 3-1 going into Thursday morning, and we were playing Houston, Bayou City, whatever you want to call them, the Heat. And we were hanging with them. We had a couple key injuries that game. I actually went down, hurt my knee that game. We lost. I think Drew nicked up his ankle. So, and then the game after that, we played the BCS Outlaws and ended up losing a walk-off heartbreaker, 13-12. So we would have won that game. We would have ended up at worse than 7th or 8th place, but unfortunately, we kind of, after those couple injuries, we ended up losing our next 2 games and finished 12th. I mean, we took a little step back, but I think there was definitely some variables, contributing to that for sure. But
where are you guys at now? Like, I'm assuming, everybody's just. I guess we got to approach everything this year with the hope that the World Series is going to take place. So are you guys, you have the plan, you planning on being in Wichita?
Yeah. We've kind of had some calls recently, and we're kind of waiting and hoping just like everybody else. But the plan is to make it to the World Series. And we actually, within the last week or two, signed up to head out to Iowa, to Ames, Iowa too. So
okay, for that's the MBBA Invitational tournament, right?
Yep. So
all right.
Hopefully things move in the right direction and everything kind of gets better. And we're trying to kind of make it all happen and hope that we can play some ball this year for sure.
Got you. So, Gina, is your family still like a big, as far as like the volunteer part or the coaching staff of the Philadelphia Fire?
Yeah, they still come out from time to time to help out as much as they can with the team. My brother was pitching a few seasons, and my father was coaching. And we have a good time, and we're trying to get them out this year again as well.
All right. It's always good to have good experience around.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, is your brother Daniel involved with the teams?
No. He took one of the main reasons why the Slammers kind of fell apart. Well, we were going to originally take a step back from everything and kind of reevaluate back in 2016 after the series, was because he was gonna step away to focus more on school, because he went back to college.
Okay.
To get his degree. So he was going to step away from the sport, and he hasn't come back, and he's like, nah, it's not. He's like, yeah, I still like to watch it and all that, but he's like, I just don't think I could get back into it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Well, and also like especially if you're expected to be a pitcher, you have to be committed. You know what I mean?
And he's.
Go ahead.
We've talked several times about it, and he's like, yeah, if anything, because that it's still in our blood. We've talked about he's always had this dream of getting like a beat baseball tattooed on his forearm, like the inner side of his forearm, and I'm like, yeah, man, because he was a really good pitcher, but I mean, he should
have pitched to me a few times. I could have tattooed a beat ball on his arm.
Speaking of, you were talking about Scott earlier, man. Scott tattooed a beat ball on right there, square on the center of my brother's forehead.
I think he told us that story. You could see the stitching.
We're like, oh my God. Well, I was like, man, you were lucky you were wearing them cheap. He was wearing some cheap little sunglasses, and I was like, you were lucky you were wearing those. Hit him square on the bridge of the nose, broke the sunglasses, but that braced the impact. But no, he's talked about maybe if he ever came back, he'd want to be like maybe an umpire.
Okay,
like, oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I could see that.
So, in addition to like all the Natolis who've been around for a couple of years and help us out, we've added a couple new volunteers. Buddy from high school of mine named Matt Lowry is actually one of our pitchers now. He's a natural athlete. He was actually a left tackle at Penn State. And another buddy of mine from college, Mike Ricardo. He's one of our pitchers now. He was pitching. Those two are pitching in that doubleheader scrimmage we had against the Titans in September. That was pretty much our whole season this past year. So,
yeah, right.
But they're on board. They're ready to go, and they're great. And then another buddy I got out there from high school named Zach Moyer was doing a lot of spotting for us and doing a good job. And like Justin kind of alluded to, Jeff got involved. Originally, his dad, Jeff Ryines, just kind of came out and caught. And he's kind of like, one of our main coaches now. And he's comes out to everything. And Justin's mom as well. Carol comes out to help out sometimes. So we appreciate all the volunteers, everybody we have, because, everybody knows we can't play this sport without them. So
absolutely. Yeah. And it's funny how it kind of works like that as far as the ones that stick around. Like, people are always so worried about like when they're building teams, and I'm talking to somebody, and often there's like so much concern with we have to get this many volunteers to do this and that. Like before they have the people, they have like the jobs marked out. But I try to tell them, it's like, man, it's like, yeah, try to recruit people, but it's amazing how like somebody will just give somebody a ride to a practice, and you get them, they'll start out like shagging balls for you, but then it's like, can I come back? It's like, hell yeah, you don't have to ask blind people twice. Keep coming back if you want to. Heck yeah. So,
every week, please.
Yeah. The other side of all those names you throw out just says how immature. Like, I mean, Seth and I both have this problem, but when you said Matt Lowry, like I instantly went to the movie Bad Boys by Mike Lowry. It's like, I'm Mike Lowry. Hey, I'm Matt Lowry. I don't know. Like half time you're talking, I just wanted to jump in and go, I'm Matt Lowry. So I'm sorry. I digress.
No worries. And then in addition to that, it's actually funny where I was at local pub having a beer, and we were always kind of struggling
during a pandemic or before?
No.
Okay, all right. Don't make us lecture you, Johnny.
Irresponsible.
This is in 2018.
All right, good man.
And we were always kind of looking for fields. The fields we were playing on were not the greatest. And I just met a guy. I had a Philly Fire T-shirt on, and he just came up to me and said, "What is that? What is beat baseball? Philly Fire beat baseball." And we told him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we'd love to have you play at our field." He's like the part of the recreation board for the field. Oh, yeah. So I found him. His name's Ed Fitzpatrick, and ever since then, we've had a home field at Norwood Park. So that's been great. That's very helpful to have, Ed and the Norwood Parks and Recreation. And then my cousin Dennis Lux actually just took the head coaching job at the local high school.
I thought he was going to say Vinny. My cousin Vinny.
So
I thought I was going to get in trouble for accusing both of us being immature, but see, it's not just me.
He's actually going to bring out, hopefully when all this stuff passes, like the varsity football team to help out with tournaments and practices also, which is cool. So
cool. Man, awesome. Sounds like you guys, you got good pieces in good pieces in place. I expect to hear you guys keep trucking along.
What are we looking for as a, we went 10th, we went 12th. Now after a year away, what are we looking for this year? What will a good, solid progression be as we're looking, assuming everybody's healthy and stuff.
What's your team goal at this point?
What are you
shooting for?
After we finished 10th, I think, Drew and Justin and Gina, you guys all agree we were shooting for top 5. So that's still the goal. I don't know if anybody's touching the Thunder or the Jets anytime soon. So top 5.
The Jets. No.
Don't get Seth started. He's a hater. But at the same time, you really can't focus on like what you're not. You know what I mean? You still gotta set your own goals. Like
Definitely. I think top 5 is what we're shooting for at this moment for sure.
All right, no, that's a high setting. So I'd say props to you for not just saying, if we get back in the top 10, that'd be cool. Shoot for higher.
Yep.
All right. You have anything else for our guest, Seth Dog? Any more Philadelphia Fire wisdom you need?
Well, no. When do you guys start practicing and stuff like this? Right. I mean, this is the beginning of the year, right? What's your timeline?
Johnny Ba just told us it's 16 degrees. Hey, practicing.
Hey, Darnell Booker got the Thunder out there.
Yeah, that's true. There are in the comment. I know the comments do that too. Like go to an indoor facility, do some hitting. Do you guys do that stuff?
Yeah, we went to one right before everything got shut down. So I guess as things kind of progress a little bit, we'll look into maybe getting back into a cage. But if not, outside weather-wise, usually late March, early April, we start to get out there and start to practice. So.
Are all of you?
If you did some Law of the Jungle out there in 16-degree weather, that would definitely get you guys focused on picking up the balls, I should say.
That would hurt to hit Enfield for sure.
I'd want no part of that.
That's not bad.
What about the Beast in the East tournament when we had Boston on? A few shows back. I was going to say a few weeks ago, but a few months ago now. But they told us a little bit more about the Beast in the East tournament and how that works with it rotating around. Like, are all the East Coast teams are there plans in place to get that going again this year?
Yeah. We've had a call or two. We're actually supposed to host it this year.
Okay.
We're kind of in wait and see mode a little bit to get a specific date on when we're going to do it. But we're still planning to do it, but we don't have specific dates. But yeah, so there's 3 South teams like Philly, Jersey, and then the North teams are Long Island, Boston, and Rochester, and each of the divisions hosts one leg each year. So we're actually supposed to host that. We got another call coming up here, so hopefully we can get something down for sure and figure out but the plan is to try to play it for sure.
I never had any idea how that worked until that show with the Boston Renegades when they explained how each team, how it rotates around the host of the tournament. I thought, man, that's really clever. I was glad that all you teams put that together. I don't know. I just think it's cool the way that worked out.
Yeah, no, I jumped in late. That was, Rob Weissman and Greg Gontarek and all the guys when they started it. I think at least 10, 11, 12 years ago, something like that now. So.
All right.
Hey, well, with all you guys being so close, who are your rival? I mean, do you guys have any rivalries with people? I mean, are there any teams that if
I had to take a guess, I'd say the Titans. Would be a rival team? No? Just the close proximity more than anything?
Yeah, and we've kind of gone back and forth with them over the last few years. We won a lot when they first came around, and it's changed a little bit in the last year or two. But we had a game with them in the Beast of the East in 2018. Where we actually went 3-0 that day. We beat Boston 13-12, and then we beat Long Island, and then it was a 4-inning rain-shortened game. But Scott Hogwood actually, where this all comes full circle now, I guess, hit a rope right past me at third base with 2 outs. We were up by 1 run. I thought it was a run, and then all I heard is Gina's voice go, "Up!"
Yeah.
I got that out. That was an exciting game.
That was awesome. And it was raining, was jumping around in the rain. That was cool. But yeah, we have a friendly rivalry with those guys. Like I said, they've kind of taken a big jump. You know, they're a good squad right now. So
Yeah.
So Gina, was that your most let's say your greatest moment in beat ball so far, or what?
That is definitely a top moment of my beat baseball career, I would say. That was a really great moment and experience. And that final out, especially it was so hard with the rain and everything that day. It was a great accomplishment. I really enjoyed it.
Even though I had a pretty good career defensively overall, I have so little experience of making the last play of the game. Even when I got opportunities, I'd usually, choke. So I'm envious of you having like one of those big moments. I mean, I had a good career. I'm not crying, but I didn't close out too many games. Do you play outfield then?
I do. I'm the designated fielder for the Philly Fire.
But do you play out? Do you play out more in the outfield?
Yeah, I play the deep. Yeah, I usually play deep, like third base side.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a strong
I like
side.
playing defense, and out in the field.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I take it you're good at it.
Yeah, if you're playing in left field, obviously you're one of the better defensive players.
Yeah, I like playing outfield and playing defense for the team. I'm a play for the Dynamic Divas as well, fielder for them as well. Same position, outfield.
How often since that big play have you had to remind Johnny Ma that you saved his ass in that game, since he's the one that let the ball get by?
He tries.
He tries.
Yeah.
Justin and Andrew, man, do you guys have any Philadelphia Fire or beat ball stuff to add before we let you all get back to your weekends? We've kind of kept you guys quiet for a little while. I mean, you might have fallen asleep. Nobody's saying nothing.
Yeah, I was waiting for Justin, but no, I was just gonna say for me, you guys were talking about practice, and I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, oh man, that's one of my the advantage I have, because the last 2 or 3 years that my team, the Slammers, were around before I joined up with the Fire, I was the team captain, the coach, the equipment manager. So I have all of our stuff here at my house so I'm like, oh, for practice, yeah, I can do one-man practices, yeah. Got a set of bases out, out the park 2 blocks away. People go out there and they look at me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, one-man practice,
Football practice.
Yeah.
Tackling dummies.
Do you take your bases out when you go practice by yourself?
Yeah, I'll do
You're a better man than Seth and I have ever been.
I'll do sprint drills.
Yeah.
I'll do different sprint drills and all kinds of stuff. There's,
No, I would.
If I took the bases out, that would mean I'd have to run sprint.
But I would always go out and run sprints too when I went out and practiced defense by myself. But I would just run out of ball. You know what I mean? I was way too lazy to take a whole base out there. I have to carry the base, carry it back to the car.
One of my favorite things to do is just honestly to have the base in its 2 separate pieces and put the base bottom, flip it upside down, and put it on top of my head while I'm walking down the street. And people just look at me like, what is that? Like a blue cheese head? What's going on here?
Yeah. What team are you for?
Carrying the giant blue, foam pylon on my other arm, just walking down the road.
That's awesome. Well, man, I just want to say thank you to all of you. I had a lot of fun, both getting to know you guys a little more personably. Certainly get to talk to you again, Andrew. We were briefly teammates for 1 year. I didn't know. Yeah. I don't know how old you were then, but you were pretty young. I remember. 17 years ago. It was in 2004.
So I was 13. Yeah.
I played for Oklahoma for 1 year while you and your family were there. I actually had a rough year in 2003, and the Dogs didn't make it in 2004, and I mentally was literally thinking about just hanging it up then. I didn't think I was going to go back to playing, and my friend Glenn Permar, who played with the Dogs, had purchased a ticket because he thought the Dogs were going to the World Series. So I was trying to find a team for him. And I called Tim because, Oklahoma took everybody. I called Tim up. I was like, Tim, man, my friend Glenn Permar, he's a really good player. He needs a team, and I think you guys would be a good fit. He's like, will you come with him? I was like, man, I have no plans of anything b-ball. It's like, well, let me talk to the team. I'll get back to you. He calls me the next night. It's like, I talked to the team. It's unanimous. Everybody wants you. I'm like, I didn't say I was playing. What about Glenn? He's like, I forgot to ask about Glenn. I'll get back to you. He's like, I'm sure it'd be fine. But so that I literally ended up playing with you guys when I wasn't planning on playing. But I'm really glad that I did that. That was one of my most fun experiences.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was a ton of like NBBA like legends in a lot of ways with Scott Hudson and Sam McKenzie, your dad. Like, Roy Eubanks, all these big names that were in the game.
Oh, yeah, Roy Eubanks,
yeah. And Benny Myers, Benny Legend.
Benny Myers,
yeah.
Dude, I was so surprised to see him at the last World Series.
I didn't know he had made it, but good for him. I love Benny.
Him and Angie were there. I didn't even recognize him because I hadn't seen him in so long. But
how do you not recognize him? What, old people look different when they get 10 years older? No, I'm kidding. But no, that year was one of the most fun years I had. One of the things that was most fun for me was getting to know your mom so well. Your mom's a fantastic lady. She's so much fun. So give her my love.
Oh, I will. Yeah, she gets comments. She's way more active on Facebook than I am. So I see like her posts and things, and I see that all people from like the beatball community are still sending her messages and comments and things, and she's like, I do miss it, and I've been wanting to go back. It's just I don't know, and I'm like, it's good to know people miss her and they want to see her there. And stuff.
Your mom's fantastic, so I hope she makes it back. Well, thank you to all of you. Any final words from anybody before we head out of here?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to a couple of our new players to look out for coming up. Jason Capote, Casey Kraus, Cody Kirkner. Looking forward to playing with all these guys this year and just kind of watch out. And we're on the recruiting trail. We got some other young guys we're working on. Anybody else I forgot? Thank you to the Blind Sports Organization. They're the nonprofit organization that we play under that helps us out financially and all. So, and anybody else over the years who's helped us get to this point in any way, we appreciate you very, very much. And we can't do this without you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, keep it up. We're, we here at the Beatball Blues Show go keep tracking with you folks now that we've made some more friendships. And we look forward to hearing when you get that top 5 finish. We'll bring you back on the show. Talk about your success, Johnny Ma. I just like saying that name. don't ever change it to Johnny M.
I'll leave it for you, man. No problem.
All right, good man. All right, thanks everybody. We will be back around. I do want to just say, as far as the show goes, I like at the beginning, I was always very committed to like just no matter what, having to show up once a week. But that the longer we go, if something's not coming into play, I think Seth, we're kind of on the same page. I'm not going to force it. You know what I mean? If we don't have a show falling into place by Friday, Saturday, I'm just going to let it ride, and I'd rather us put out good content than just throw something together at the last second. You agree? I guess just warning the audience that it might not be every week like we plan. But not because we're giving up or getting lazy. It's just I'd rather just not force anything. There'll be times when it could be just Seth and I come out here and just do some commentary on something that's going on in the game. But I don't know. Outside of that, we're not going to force anything. So we'll try to get a show up every week. We'll always be working on shows, and they'll be here when they're here. And we hope somebody keeps checking them out because we appreciate it. Plus, more than anything, it gives Aunt Cindy time to get caught up on shows since she fell so far behind. All right, so that's it. We do plan to be here next week. So everybody be well, be safe, mask up, be smart, be considerate, and we will see you then. Good night, Aunt Sydney.
All right.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.